Yesterday, one of the most well-known pastors in the United States passed away. He had a very influential ministry, a wide array of books on a number of subjects, very well-respected person who many people give credit to for kindling and rekindling their faith. Of course, I'm speaking of Timothy Keller. One of the things we always face with the matter of death is what happens afterward. And so in the middle of all the grief and memories, we end up with a lot of expressions of thanksgiving and joy that Pastor Keller is released from his labors and is in the presence of the Lord. Because, as Paul puts it in Philippians 1, when he is considering whether his life is coming to a close or whether his ministry will endure for some time longer, he says that his desire is to be absent from the body and present with the Lord, which is far better. One of the questions that we need to wrestle with is that far better an absolute? In other words, is this the ultimate goal we're looking for, or is it the next stage in redemption, but there is more to come? And Paul himself answers that for us. To see why there must be more to come, let's backtrack a moment. In Romans 5, Paul takes us back to the Garden of Eden, and he says that through the disobedience of one man, which is of course Adam, sin came into the world, and through sin, death. And so therefore you have a twofold problem that has arisen. There is now sin, and there is now death. When we go to be with Jesus and become absent from the body and present with the Lord, our sins no longer hold us down. We are in the immediate presence of Jesus. And so that is a great and vast improvement over our current situation. Paul says this is far better. But when we understand the diagnosis of the problem that Paul presents in Romans 5, in which is already clear from Genesis 2 and 3, then we understand that this resolution is only half of the resolution. We have dealt with the problem of sin, but we have not really dealt with the problem of death when we are absent from the body and present with the Lord. So what is the resolution of that? Paul puts it very clearly in 1 Corinthians 15. He says there is a coming resurrection of the dead, that when Jesus went into the grave, he didn't stay there, his body didn't stay there, and his spirit was released into heaven. No, he overcame death. He came back out of the tomb with a resurrected body, a glorified body. Yes, it is an improved body, but it is the same body. If you went into the tomb, which John did, which Peter did, what did they find? Did they find the body of Jesus still lying there? No, he was gone, because that same body was resurrected and glorified. And so it is that when we go to a funeral, that person lying in the casket has not been resurrected. They are absent from the body and present with the Lord. But Paul says that when Jesus came out of the tomb, that was our guarantee that he is the first fruits, meaning he is the first of many, and that is our goal, that is our hope. That is when we will find the second half of the resolution to the problem. Sin has been dealt with. Sin has been erased when we go to be with Jesus. But when he returns and all his people are raised up, then that is the resolution to the final problem. The last enemy, Paul says, that will be destroyed is death. The destruction of death does not happen when you die. That is the apparent temporary victory of death. The destruction of death occurs when we are raised with Jesus, when we are not only present with the Lord, but also present with the body.